Site to find available jobs and employer services. Employment Solutions is your solution to finding your next job. Here's Sports Flashback.
Tragedy. Really, I mean, news that will just tear you to pieces. News that will just shake you up. Oh my goodness. News that will make, well, the real tragedy with Bill Buckner is that he died from Alzheimer's. Make an error in a ball game, you could make the argument that, hey, you know what that did? That got more people on the batting title in 1980 for the Cubs. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed because that was the year George Brett was hitting .390 for the Royals in the American League. But no, yeah, there you go. National League champion batting .324 average. Next segment, get out the tissues. Like I said, if you're on your prescription for downers and it needs to be refilled, you can take a day off. I'm gonna really, this will be the sad song Say So Much that Elton John, that you had the son. Wait, the Raptors are in the NBA Finals? What can we do to put that on the bottom of the fold and put the Maple Leafs on top? Maple Leafs make a deal? Did they swap it? Did they hire a minor league assistant coach or something? Did they trade a fourth liner? I mean, third line defenseman, anything like that we can put above the fold. Because that's the way. So you've got Ken Dryden today. And this is the above the fold. I don't have the physical copy of the Toronto Sun, forgive me. But this is the story that's been what everybody has been talking about. And Ken Dryden is talking about concussions in hockey. Oh yeah, it's contact sport. And is Gary Bettman trying to avoid talking about them much the same way that it seemed as if Roger Goodell, and hey, they had to have that out of court, so less than shocked, didn't drop everything, shall we say, about the concussion problem in their sport, at least not initially. Okay, at least not initially. But 2 weeks ago, Bettman said, my players of different heights, weights, and skills, and by its very nature, a collision sport. The health and safety of the players is a top priority for the league, and that during the tenure of Bettman, which has gone on for more than a generation, it dates back to the early 90s, NHL has pioneered many safety initiatives, including a concussion protocol to identify and to remove them from this. However, they haven't penalized all hits to the head yet in the NHL, but it's difficult, if not impossible, to implement and apply in practice. Possibly. Fairly enforce a rule that prohibits head contact of any kind or nature if the NHL is to be maintained as a physical contact sport. Concussions occurring because of hits to the head have been, there you go, could you eliminate it? Now, I mean, the NFL just did away with the Oklahoma, basically button heads while a running back tries to get past them. So you start to wonder, wait a minute, what about a clean check? Do you have to go after the head? I mean, in the NFL, you do a horse collar tackle or something like that. This is in the old days. You get penalized. Absolutely. Head-to-head contact? Come on. They all wear helmets now in the NHL. Now, I'm mentioning all these things about the NHL. Fighting is at its lowest level since was the Gordie-Howe hat trick. He only did it a few times. 85% of the league's games are now fights to be promoted. I think 100% brawl or something like that. Okay, I mean, I can see that. But I've covered hockey, certainly in the Olympics, you don't have it. I've covered high school hockey for a long time. I covered it for 7 years. In all my years of covering high school hockey, for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, I saw 2 fights. One occurred after the game. The other was called roughing, and the only reason it was called roughing is because had they thrown out the fighting penalty, the player would have been kicked out of the next game, which happened to be for the West Virginia Championship. Actually, I've covered high school hockey for 8 years now, I think about it. That was my 6th year in covering. So that happened in West Virginia, so I'm sorry. Reference or anything, but okay, you had a, shall we say, friendly referee at the time who kind of understood the weight, and, you know, they broke up a couple of punches thrown real fast, and they did throw a penalty and all that. Those are the only 2 fights that I've ever seen. And to be honest with you, that one fight that I'm speaking of, that there was one guy throwing a couple of punches. It wasn't drop the gloves and go at it. And so, okay. But 85% of the games are fight-free. 75 or 76% of the NHL's 700 players never engage in a fight, and to the extent many others do, maybe it's 1 fight a year. As well, the game has never been played with such high skill. I'll buy all of that. Fights generally are just 2 palookas, that go, and I never, no. I never, one thing about hockey fights, you got to remember, and this always bothered me. I can remember one time watching the great Martin St. Louis. Speaking of St. Louis Blues, okay, Martin St. Louis. He spelled his name St. Louis, okay. Played for the Tampa Bay Lightning, was a midget. Like 5'1". I'm exaggerating, folks, okay. But he was a very short player. But, he could skate to the ice, and he was a playmaker. He was a fantastic hockey player. One day, see him, he's about ready to go down the boards, and I'm saying, wow, he's going to get into a breakaway, he's going to have a clean angle. I'm looking forward. I've got my 2 fists ready to see St. Louis do his stuff and score a goal. And what happens? A couple of palookas on the other end of the ice have dropped their gloves. How did that happen? And the Barbarians in the crowd cheered. And I don't know, the public address system played, the theme to the Banana Splits. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la-la-la-la. I don't know if they did that or not. You know where I'm going with that. And it's just like what I've always told you. I remember once making a reference about Mario Lemieux to a woman down here. I don't know who that is. He's a famous hockey player. All I know about hockey is they fight. When that's the perception of your sport, something's wrong. This isn't boxing. It shouldn't be Rodney Dangerfield, I went to the fights and a hockey game broke out. I love the movie Slapshot. It's my favorite. We've had one of the Hanson brothers on this show. I should try to get him. It's just not. There's an element of time right there, a funny movie. Let it stay as such. You don't really need to go further here. Playoffs will create. It's one of the reasons why I gotta say this. You want to have an opinion? I'd like to see the Blues. It's that, you've got the skating team, theoretically, against the hitting team. Like I said, they drew 5 power plays. The Bruins were on last night, and they were able to cut tempo and the rhythm of the game. Broad Street bullies, so to speak. And that's just not where the game needs to go to create the appeal that I think it has to. In which case, one of the reasons why I think that hockey will have an appeal that'll grow is because so far it's been pretty much apolitical. You can show a few exceptions, but I think you can find exceptions everywhere. The Fresno Grizzlies, however, may not be that apolitical. What they did, they're the Giants AAA team, by the way. They were supposed to put a movie in the name of duty. But as Reagan's voice mentioned enemies of freedom, the video took present-day figures. I don't know how contemporary that is, but then Cortez. While I realize that many around here in the Bible Belt of very conservative East Tennessee aren't going to be fans of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her politics, let's do keep in mind, now, she does, even if you don't agree with it, and I think a lot of people don't, she's saying what she thinks is best for the country. Does that make her an enemy because you don't like her politics? I'll let you decide that, but she doesn't deserve to be with Kim Jong-un, and for that matter, Fidel Castro. No way. Grizzlies, yeah, they've apologized. Grizzlies said, well, you know what, we didn't see the whole film before we threw it out the stake. Here's what you ought to do, Fresno Grizzlies. Invite AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, throughout the first pitch to try to be as apolitical and to get both sides of political coin. Hey, I run a baseball team. I want both liberals and conservatives to be at the ballpark. And you know what? I think I can probably sit them side by side, and all they'll be doing is having a mutual agreement of yay team. So why not have a conservative lawmaker as well out there with AOC throwing out the first pitches of Coast League baseball? You know, this isn't the independent minors where you're trying to chase every dime and such. So there you go. I mean, that's the way you handle that situation. When we return, I am going to depress you. I am going to give you bad news. I am going to, you could be getting laid more than anyone you know, and I'm going to make you, hit the eggnog hard. Tri-City Sports Now.
Neighborhood Ford. It's where